Hello and welcome to Eat More Football, the show that satisfies your craving for hot takes. We had some very good games this week, some not very good games, but let's go right into This Week in Sports. Alright, this week in sports, the College Football Playoff Committee has announced that we will be commencing with the 12-team college football playoff. I'm not entirely sure how big of an effect this will have, at least not on the top 4 teams. That's they're just going to be staying the same. But it'll have a pretty significant effect on teams, especially within the conference champion type stuff. So what do you guys think about that? Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there are only 3 or 4 teams yearly that actually have a legitimate shot to win the national championship. And also, some of those teams, a lot of games aren't really going to matter. Like last week, or yesterday, Utah and Florida played. So, that's going to have an effect on Utah's playoff picture. But say we're going to have a just straight to 12-team playoff this year, that game literally means nothing because Utah's probably just going to end up finish the season 12 anyways. So, yeah, kind of diminishes a lot of the regular season impact.
The biggest thing I think it'll do will quiet those teams that are 5 through 12 because now they get an opportunity to be heard in the postseason. Will it change the end result like you said, TJ? I don't think so. I think now it's just those the powerful teams are just waiting in the wings while these other teams beat each other up. Basketball is a completely different sport to me. A team can get hot, can make a run in the tournament, whereas I feel like the more games you play in college football, the more you get worn down, the more opportunity for injury, major injury, which can deplete your depth chart. And then now Alabama's going to be the Ole Miss by 50 points now instead of 35 like they do in the regular season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hey, is something different about today's show? I think we actually might, for once, all be in person in the same spot as opposed to Zoom. How about that? All right.
Oh,
We had a family gathering this weekend, so we decided to film the show down here in sunny Central Florida. So it was a great time. Yeah, and we're happy to actually be in person. Hopefully it won't be too uncomfortable. But yeah, so should be fun today. So let's get on to some exciting games that happened this Saturday. And we're going to crown our winner chicken dinners in this next segment. So let's move on to that.
All right, my winner chicken dinner for this week. It's going to go a little bit off the standard path. Duke Blue Devils. First game in a new era with Mike Elko, the new head coach. They didn't play anybody that was very difficult. Temple has not been a good football team. But Duke did what an ACC team should do to an American Conference team, and that is beat them 30-0, a shutout in Elko's first game, when everybody is predicting Duke to be one of the worst teams in the country. Well, on defense, they held them to 179 total yards. Okay, that is a great defensive performance, and obviously on offense they put up 30 points. So Duke, you're my winner chicken dinner. And one more, JMU, the Dukes from James Madison University, first game in the Sun Belt, throttled Middle Tennessee State University, throttled them, 45-7, I believe, something like that. So welcome to big boy football. Sounds like they're already a big boy in the league. So congratulations, winner chicken dinner.
They're going to move out of the basement into the actual rankings of the Power 5 for once. Not acting like a group of 5 team all the time.
If you consider a national champion in the basement of FCS, but I get what you're saying.
In basketball, maybe. Yeah, right, sure. Let's see. Yeah, I mean Duke. It's Duke. I thought they were going to be bad too, because I picked Temple over
And
Duke.
they might still be bad.
That's true. They might still be
but
bad.
for this 1 week, just like Vandy, the last 2 weeks, you guys are champions.
Yes.
You're undefeated.
But for now, we persist with some Duke hate. So.
No, it's still Hawaii. Still Hawaii. You guys lost again to Western Kentucky. You almost lost to Austin Peay. So it's still Hawaii. You are the bottom 1 on our list.
All right, for my winner chicken dinner, I'm gonna do Stetson Bennett. I kind of roasted him a few weeks ago on the show. I talked about how he was overrated, but hey, he proved us all wrong. I mean, 368 total yards, like that's really impressive. It doesn't matter if Oregon was ranked too high. And
6
Atlanta.
incompletions.
Yeah,
6.
That's insane to me.
And I think I saw that he had like a turnover ratio over the past, or I think it was, something turnover ratio to completions, or I don't even know, but it was like a 7-0 ratio over the past 13 games, where he had 0 turnovers. So it's like, that's pretty impressive.
What do you call him?
The mailman,
The
because he always delivers.
He always.
Stetson, great job, buddy.
Sadly.
Not to
yes.
be confused with the Stetson Hatters.
Oh yes.
But they did get a W this week. Good job.
My winner chicken dinner.
Spoiler alert.
Not surprising.
I mean, come on, let's.
Is ye old Florida Gators. They're not back yet. We're not back yet. But I mean, we played our hearts out yesterday night and somehow found a way to win. Anthony Richardson, he carried the whole team on his back. But I really do think it was a collective effort. I mean, you could tell, or at least I could, when we walked onto the field and when we started playing, there was a different collective team mentality of where we're actually trying to go. Because I guarantee you, if this was Dan Mullen's team, we would have gotten blown out, like 42-20 or something. But, our whole team did a really great job. Even the defense, which didn't look very good at times, but we made the plays, the necessary plays when we needed to. Like a game-sealing interception on the last play of the game. 29-26 was the final score of that.
It's a great game.
It was a very good game.
I thought it was interesting to hear Anthony Richardson talk after the game. They asked him, and he said, "We're a family." It's like, that's what we do. We're a family. So they asked him the difference in last year and this year, and that's what he said. So
Yeah.
you can play like a family, you're going to have a chance.
Yeah, and that's what Billy Napier, that's his style that I've noticed. Like, and even in like the post game stuff, because I never see him like hyped or jumping around or anything, but I could tell like this was pretty different, because he was. How about them Gators?
Yeah, we got to add that clip
We'll
to
add
the
the
show
clip
and post.
up in there. I can actually point in right directions now.
I will say about Billy Napier, I'm not going to crown him the national championship after just one win,
Of course
but
not.
I love the way he's just like the whole game, like you said, not super emotional. Just, I bet his heartbeat is probably like 30 beats per minute.
Just happy to be
Seriously.
there.
So yeah, it was a fine defensive effort. I think our offense played really great compared to the past couple years. Defense will still need some work. There were a couple penalties, not specifically on defense, but just overall that'll need, But it's hard. It's because it's hard to change culture after 4 years of different head coach. But yeah, overall I thought it was a really great game.
Remind us how Nick Saban did in his first year at Alabama, Noah. You remember?
7-6.
7-6. That's true.
With a loss on homecoming to UL Monroe.
Yep.
That is true. The
I mean, I was 1 year old. I didn't even see it. But
Yeah, that shows you my age. I was at the game, so.
Oh really?
And the bowl game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Independence Bowl.
Beat Colorado. Saw Ralphie run onto the field. I should have
Really?
said, if y'all would have asked me my question last week on the mascots, maybe I would have said Ralphie. That's a pretty cool
That
the
is-
buffalo on
yeah.
the field.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If I had to add another winner chicken dinner, it would be Old Dominion.
Yeah. Yes.
And let me just say, Virginia Tech stinks. They stink. I'm sorry, guys.
ACC. ACC.
Not that. You got beat by Old Dominion like twice in the past 4 years. That's so bad.
Oh, man.
Remember when Virginia Tech was like ranked number 5 or something?
Mhm.
Like just not even 5 years ago. Like it's just insane how bad it is now. Well, I guess that's what people said about Florida.
Tell us what else happened for Virginia Tech. Didn't they get... What happened to the coaches pregame? Did we hear about that? What happened?
I didn't hear about that. What happened?
Their players, their coaching staff got stuck in the elevator.
Oh,
How does that happen?
It was a sign of bad things to come. I just saw a shot on Twitter of an empty press box where the coaches sit. It said, the Virginia Tech coaches got stuck in the elevator pregame.
Yeah.
And then an article just came out where things got stolen from their locker room on ESPN. So
Oh, really?
talk about insult to injury.
Yeah.
Yes.
So bad.
You lose, and you lose your money, and you get stuck in the
Yeah,
elevator. That's a bad
terrible.
way to start your college football season.
So terrible. We'll just segue this right into week 1 reactions. Pitt, West Virginia, phenomenal game. I stayed up for that whole thing. I was on the edge of my seat.
Oh yeah.
Late pick 6 to seal the game. Final score 38-31. West Virginia narrowly almost beat Pitt, if not for that interception at the end.
You know what I love about Pat Narduzzi, and kind of tongue-in-cheek saying that? He's always jabbing the opponent. Like, he beat him, and he said, they asked him about when Neil Brown went for it, or he punted on 4th and 1 from, it was late in the game, he punted instead of going for it on Pitt's side of the field. Obviously, they ended up losing. Narduzzi said, I think I would have gone for it. He was like, hey, that guy, not only did I beat him, but he made bad calls.
Yeah, he
on
made
the
a little
action,
extra
right?
shade.
Yeah.
I like that.
Penn State, Purdue, final 35-31 in favor of the Nittany Lions. Also, a late pick 6.
Yeah. Also a puke 6.
Yes,
Yes,
that's a good
that
one.
was
That's
good.
a good one.
I hope we have
Puke
some video
6.
of that.
We got that right over
Yes.
Noah's head. Hopefully, I'll have some
That
room
was
for that.
fantastic.
He said, he sure is running hard. Oh, man, that's nasty. Let's see. Arizona State beat Northern Arizona. That's very interesting.
What a big one.
Emory
Good for
Jones,
them.
starting quarterback.
Paul Tyson, Alabama transfer, grandson of Bear Bryant,
Wow.
also at Arizona State.
Nice.
Indiana, Illinois, final score 23-20.
Ooh.
I picked Illinois, so that one hurts.
Yeah. Me too.
Guess I was the only one that picked Indiana here.
Well, because
W for me.
Yeah, I guess I should have gone with Coach.
Coach Allen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
TCU, Colorado, late night Pac-12 game. Pac-12, Big 12.
That's
It was a
Pac-12.
sleeper.
What?
No,
TCU's
that's
not
Big
in
12.
Pac-12. TCU's in-
That's how much.
How much do you know college football now?
Who
38-13.
can keep up with transfer
Point
or
frogs.
with realignment?
Yeah.
Transfers and conference
Like the
realignment.
Fansville.
No,
Not Pepper
if you
commercials.
don't read up on it the week before, you probably forgot who the guy just transferred to, or
It's true.
which team went to the Big Ten. Or
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Alabama, Utah State. Alabama will remain the number 1 team in the country.
snooze fest.
Roll
Fest, 55-0. Although they scored 0 points in the 4th quarter. I'm sure this
Shame.
means disaster. This means disaster for the
The dynasty
coaching
is
side.
dead, guys.
It's gone. We're fading. Number 2, Ohio State. Well, I was gonna say narrowly. It was narrow.
It was
for a while,
narrowly, pretty much.
But they took it away, 21-10 over the Fighting Irish.
Not impressed with the offense of Ohio State, but when you can find a way to win,
Well, Jackson Smith and Jigba got
They're
injured.
injured.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that because I wasn't watching that game.
I know what it's like, Ohio State fans, to have your best receiver.
Well, they won anyways.
That's true.
See, they got their best receiver out and they still won the game.
they won
And you
ugly.
had your best receiver out and you lost.
Ryan Day said they won ugly. I don't think there's an ugly win. If you win, it's a win. Period.
Well, they covered the spread.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
17.
It was 17. So.
Which I said they would not cover, but they'd win. So, hot take.
How about number 3 Georgia over number 11 Oregon, treating them like an FCS opponent, 49-3.
Wow.
They covered the spread.
Definitely.
They
yeah.
definitely
I
covered
said
the
they
spread.
covered the spread.
And
Let-
then some.
Let's just look at this box score. So, Oregon scored 0 points in the first quarter. Understandable. So it's 7-0. 3 points in the second. Georgia scored 2 touchdowns in the second. So already it's
No, 3 touchdowns to the second.
oh geez.
Yeah.
So
28-3 at half, huh?
yeah, 28-3 at halftime, and then they shut Oregon out for the last 2 quarters, and then scored 3 more touchdowns on top of that.
Did you guys see that the one tight end that Georgia has that's 6'7", 270 pounds?
Oh, is that Darnell? Darnell Washington?
I'm
Is that
not
his name?
sure his name. I was watching the highlights this morning, and my goodness, he jumped over somebody. It's like
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
unbelievable. Well, first of all, if I was that DB that dove at his legs, I don't blame you. I would have acted like I was tackling him too, so I could miss him. So I have to tackle a 6'7", 270-pound dude. Right
Yeah,
at
I'm
you.
not getting run over by that. How about? Let's see, who is it? The Boss Hog.
Yes,
sir! Oh, yeah.
Gotta give it to
There
the
you
boss. I got my red on today. I was wrong. Boss Hog, you're
That's
the man.
right. That's right. We got him.
Did we see his
Same
post-game interview?
I watched it about the cold beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
We're not promoting it,
I'm
though.
not
We're not promoting it.
So
I
no,
love Boss Hog.
Who
You're the
said,
man.
who said Cincinnati was gonna win?
I did.
That was him.
Hot take.
Bad pick.
Hot
Bad
take.
pick right there.
Walk of shame.
Close, 31-24.
Yeah, but
So-
I, if I had a lot of missed opportunities, and Cincinnati did not play well enough to win that football game. Hats off to Arkansas at home. Not a good pick, but I wanted to take a risk.
Let's see what else we got. BYU, somehow they're number 25. They're like Texas Tech. They go 8-4 every season after Zach Wilson left. 50-21. Our resident USF fan John, I'm sure, is very happy about that score. He
Jeff Scott's in trouble, man.
bring Charlie Strong back.
Hey, how about the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Oh yeah,
Squeak them on out.
Who they pitch that game? It was a baseball game, right?
7-3 final score against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
And no, they did not score a touchdown.
Yes,
They scored
two
a safety.
A safety.
Two of them.
Two safeties.
Three
And-
safeties.
That's field goal.
All right. Yeah,
That-
two
that's
safeties.
Big Ten
in.
football
Yeah.
at its finest.
Yeah, seriously. Let's see. North Carolina App State,
Oh, my
63-61. We're
Jeez.
playing basketball here.
Yeah.
Three different sports in one day. It's like when Florida played Sanford last year.
I think
And
that's
it was
the
like 71-52.
that's the main reason I'm exhausted from yesterday. I think is that game.
It's
specifically.
so bad.
So do we,
Fair enough.
just so everybody knows, if you didn't see that game, how it unfolded, so obviously it's back and forth, back and forth. App State scored 40 points in the fourth quarter, 4-0. Supposedly that was
Yeah.
more than 83 teams scored on Saturday alone. They did it in the fourth
jeez.
quarter only. So they scored.
Dang.
They missed the 2 point to tie it up initially, and then they went to onside kick. North Carolina guy returns it for a touchdown on the
Yeah.
onside. Should have just fallen down. Game's over. 30 seconds left. Runs it back. App State goes down and scores again. 2 points down. Go for two. Miss it. What a heartbreaker.
That whole App State special teams got flatlined
Oh my
by
goodness.
North Carolina during that play. Yeah, it's like running to a brick wall.
North Carolina has no defense this
None.
year. I mean, even against FAMU, they allowed, like 20 points
Yeah,
on
like 20
FAMU?
something.
That's so bad.
How about Drake May though?
Yeah, I didn't
God.
watch the game.
Do you like May better than Austin On?
Oh, yeah.
Because Austin
As
On threw
he-
2
Austin
picks
On.
this week.
That's true.
And
My
he still
guy.
hasn't followed you back?
No,
Okay.
UCLA.
I'm
they,
still hoping.
They finally escaped from Bowling Green. Bowling Green was leading 10-7 in the first quarter.
Ooh. Did you see that picture of the stadium? I saw there was a picture of the stadium, and they said it was reported 27,000 people, and there are literally like 6,000 people. In the
Oh,
stands.
jeez.
It literally is
I
completely.
mean, I know
empty.
UCLA is not
Shame.
supposed to be that good, but
still,
that's kind of bad.
it's the Rose Bowl.
Nebraska versus North Dakota, 38-17.
Go Huskers.
7-0 at halftime.
No, 7-7.
7-7.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, 7-7 halftime.
We need to
which
get
is-
you some new glasses, TJ.
Yeah, sorry. Whatever. Hey,
3-point game
trying.
until the fourth quarter. How about that?
Yeah, I keep thinking the box score shows that it's 7, but it's 7 points, not the score. 7 additional points. Auburn Mercer 42-16. No surprises there. Didn't watch that game because no one cares.
Yep.
Coastal Carolina escaped Army 38-28.
Nice job. Good job, Chanticleers. Way to beat those Black Knights.
Louisiana 1-0 after losing Billy Napier 24-7 against Southeastern Louisiana. Mississippi State beat Memphis, covered the spread of 7 points, 49-23. They were a 7-point favorite.
Memphis was a 7-point dog, huh?
Yeah. against
Will
Mississippi
Rogers,
State.
38 for 49, 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. So
That's the air raid for you right there.
They're going. They're going.
South Carolina 35-14 over Georgia State. Should have been more.
Yeah, but hey, I looked at that box score and I saw the same thing you saw. It's like, hey, that's a blowout. It was 12-7 at half, and then I think in the second half, South Carolina blocked 2 punts returned for maybe one was a block for
And
return
that
touchdown.
is the only reason why they won.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they got those 2
Yeah.
block
Yeah.
punts. If they
Special
hadn't gotten
teams.
those, they would have, it would have been 7 to.
Beamer ball though.
Beamer ball.
Beamer
Yeah,
ball.
He was
what can
doing
I
those
say?
dances on the sideline.
I
I
saw
saw.
him.
I'm like, what the
I saw
heck are you doing?
He's the
man?
next Dabo.
Come
Come
on.
on.
man.
Dabo doesn't do those dances on the sideline. Come on. You just don't like Dabo.
I don't like Dabo. He's
Dabo
annoying.
hater.
He's pretends like the whole world is against us and they're gonna lose every single game.
Alabama fans don't act like
What's
that.
the difference in that and
No.
rat poison?
Yeah. What about the rat poison?
Usually the rat
Yeah,
poison they
there
give
we
us
go.
is
We got 'em this
fatal. But
Fatal
this
rat
rat
poison.
poison was yummy.
Let's see. Yeah, and then Monday, which this will come out Thursday, but we're recording this on Sunday. Clemson versus Georgia Tech. We'll get into that with. I guess we're still in week 1, but.
Kind of.
Well, yeah. Let's do this week 1 prediction real quick. Clemson, Georgia Tech. Who you got?
Who do you think?
I got Clemson big.
Yeah, Clemson.
23.5. That's the spread.
They'll cover.
Clemson by 100.
Yeah, Clemson will cover easily.
Speaking of 100, did you see the box score that said 86-0?
For who?
It was a FCS game. It was, I can't remember the team. I'll pull it up here. It was against Florida Memorial, which I don't even know what that
That's
is.
not a thing.
That
Never
is
heard
like
of
an NAIA school. Okay? NAIA. But somebody, I think it was another Florida team possibly, beat them 86-0.
That's like
Was it like
Harvard
Marcus?
versus
It was, I think it was
In the-
42-0 in the first quarter.
in the
So
1800s.
Yeah. Let's
It's
see
like
if
in the
I'll find it.
1800s with Harvard.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, speaking
scoring
of Georgia
100
Tech,
points.
they beat Cumberland one time like 219-0
That's
or
true.
something like that.
Highest scoring college football game.
Yeah. We can move on. I don't think I'm gonna find it quick enough. But
All right, we'll do that then. Moving on to our newest segment, introducing a new segment. TGIF, time to get in your feelings.
yeah, so this is a segment we thought about just to give a little entertainment, and we're gonna try and get somewhat emotional in this segment. There may be some tears shed. There may be some yelling. Okay, so you might want to turn your knob down, your volume knob
Some
down a little
tears,
bit.
some wow
Maybe
tears.
get the tissue out. I don't see any tissue in here, unfortunately. But it's something that either fires us up for being excited about it, or it's something that fires us up because we're upset or angry about it, and it's one of our pet peeves, possibly, maybe. So that's what this segment's going to be about. We'll do this every once in a while, not every week, but every once in a while we'll come back to this. So who wants to start us off?
Yeah, no.
How about I start us off? Okay. I'm very irritated by this dumb Sling TV commercial I get every single time I turn on YouTube TV. They bring me back to the Kick 6 every single time I watch it, and I don't understand. I get it was a cool play. There are millions of cool plays weekly. I don't understand why we have to dwell on this one time that Auburn beat Alabama because some fluke reason. You guys had the miracle in the plains. I don't know why you guys had to have the Kick 6 in the same season. Man, you still lost to Jameis Winston. But still, I'm just very irritated that I have to relive the Kick 6 week after week.
Yeah, Sling's president or CEO must be Auburn.
I've
Auburn
never seen
grad.
that commercial. Really? I've never seen
Maybe
it.
he's making it up.
I don't know why you're
Oh,
not
it's
us?
true. It's
I think
real.
I've
You'll
seen
see.
it,
You'll
actually.
see.
I guess
yeah.
we'll put it in.
I think I've seen it.
in the box.
I used to have Sling, but my wife made us get rid of it because of that commercial. I'm just joking.
That'd be funny.
That'll make sense.
I'm joking.
Greg, you next.
All right, so my TGIF, and it happened a couple times in the last 2 weeks, is when a quarterback's scrambling, right? And I get it. We got all these pretty cute quarterbacks that they want to protect themselves and they gotta stay clean and not get hit, and they're counting how many times they get pressured and how many times they get knocked down and how many times they get sacked because they're wimps, right? So when they run the football, break through, it's 2nd down and 10. They've got the first down marker in their sights. And guess what? They put on the brakes and they slide at that 8-yard mark. Well, as we all know, new rules, it's not where you slide and finish, it's where you begin to start your slide. So the ball gets marked right where you begin to start your slide. Okay, so what? 3rd and 2. Next play, they try and get the first down. They don't get it, right? The quarterback could have just kind of gone forward with the ball and got that first down and not had to punt, per se.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get it. Protect yourself. Don't take an unnecessary hit. But most of the time, there's no defender right in front of them that they're sliding into. There's an open field. So if they just dive ahead and get that first down, it could be the difference in a game, possibly, especially late in the game. I never saw Peyton Manning slide, okay? And he was not a good runner, right? But that dude would go in, is gritty, and he would go to get the first down if he needed to get it. The one time out of 6 games that he actually got outside the pocket. So
That's true.
that's one thing that fires me up.
I guess it's different being someone who like played the option and like
Very
you
different.
had to run
And I-
every single play.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to sliding, period. Like, I think you need to get out of bounds when you can, slide when you can, but have some awareness of where the sticks are and what down it is. Slide on first down, great. Okay, second and long, and you get right to the sticks, you better pick up the first down. Third and long specifically, if you get to the sticks and slide short, you are a coward.
My TGIF, my Florida Gators beat the number 7 Utah Utes. That's it. We'll put the sad music over top, the aesthetic music. This is probably my biggest win that I've watched on TV, just because I'm, I guess, a relatively new Florida fan. I mean, just from the past 4 years, but I mean, this is going to be a really great win, especially if we keep the momentum going. Hopefully we're not too drained for next week versus Kentucky, but this is a really big win for us as a program, especially with a first-year head coach. And recruiting, especially. I mean, we had 20 or 30 recruits that were visiting for that game. So that's going to give us a lot of momentum. But it brings a tear to my eye.
Get the tissue.
Yeah, get the tissue.
It's a great win.
It's a really great win. I think we put everything that we had on the table most of the time.
I wish we had the footage of last night when the interception was caught in the end zone of Noah and TJ jumping up and down and running around the house.
I'm not even a Florida fan. I don't even know what happened.
We've converted him.
It's like his
I
East
blacked
team.
out.
SEC East team.
Yeah.
I do have 2 more. One, Stetson Bennett. This is not a sad one, but like, why is he good again? Like, he wasn't supposed to be good. Last year he was like decent to mediocre, and now he's really good, judging off of the Oregon game. Maybe Oregon is just that bad, but I mean, he looked phenomenal, and that brings me great angst for the Florida-Georgia game. I'm very sad about that. So, number 3, Aflac commercials. They stink. They're funny, right? They're funny, but in a, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Like, he says, "Someone catch that goat." That's what he says.
Speaking of goats, this kind of ties in.
Yeah, we
right?
forgot about that. Yeah.
All right, trivia question to the viewers out there. Which person's team didn't win this week? Yours truly. Who did they lose to?
The Delaware Blue Hens.
And what was the score?
It was 14-7.
And how long did it take them to score a touchdown?
Like forever, like 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Too long. So, obviously, Navy's not national championship level. Let's put it that way. So,
no Roger Staubach.
it's got me thinking, should I change teams to one of these? Because obviously when we're talking championships over here, I think I might do it. But, you know what? Definitely not.
Is this
Okay.
a headgear pick?
This is not a headgear pick, but this is to tell you that I'm all in for those goats, alright? So we're gonna, and I don't know if I can get this other
You're
shirt
the
off
goat.
at this point, so
Don't take
we're
your
gonna
shirt
do the
off.
rest of it in the goat shirt, because I'm all in. We can lose to Delaware every single week. Fear the goat.
Fear the goat.
Fear the Hens, apparently, too.
Yeah, the Delaware Blue Hens. How about fear the Jaguars?
Hey, both teams that'll be winless soon.
Yeah. Hey, that's not
I
true.
don't know.
That's not
We'll
true.
see. Dougie P.
All right, let's move on real quick to week 2 predictions. We'll get some stats up and just get right into it. All right, first up we got Alabama versus Texas. This is Saturday. On Fox. Maybe Urban Meyer will be there. I don't know. 12 p.m. Should be a night game. That'd be fun if it was a night game.
Yeah, but big new kickoff.
But it's not. Alabama favored, 81% chance to win. The line is Alabama minus 19. This is at Texas. What do you guys think? Who you got?
Alabama, I think they'll cover. I think Quinn Ewers might give them a tight matchup in the first half. But second half, I think that O-line is just not sturdy enough for Texas to be able to contain Dallas Turner and Will Anderson. So I have Alabama big. Orange down.
Alabama's defense looked pretty good yesterday night,
They
even
did.
though it was Utah State.
Still.
It did look very good.
I think that the Texas quarterback's car being towed during the game this past week, is a foreshadowing that Alabama is going to steal all their lunch money in this game, and Alabama covers. They're on a different playing field.
I agree. Alabama for the win. Next, Baylor versus BYU. The rankings have not come out yet as of filming. So when I put the graphics up, those will be with all the rankings. But as of right now, number 10 Baylor versus number 25 BYU. Baylor, actually the line has not been released for this game. They do have an FPI, which is 57% chance to win. It is at BYU, 10:15 p.m. Late night game. I'm not going to watch that. That's too late. Who you guys got?
I have the Baylor Bears. I'm a big fan of Dave Aranda, even though he looks like a Goomba. I still think Baylor's a very good program, so I think they'll win. I think they'll beat BYU.
Yeah, this is a very intriguing matchup. If you look at both teams have played one game, obviously similar statistics. Their total yards from the last game, 573. Both of them are averaging 573 yards, and about a split between their yards allowed. Baylor's allowed 237 yards, BYU 279. So these teams on paper after 1 week are very close. The fact that it's at BYU, I think, is going to be a big deal. So it's a very late game, so it's really, I don't know, you do the translation for the time. It's not going to be that big of a difference for Baylor when they're playing the game as far as the time of day. But I've got Baylor. I think it's a close one. I don't think BYU's been tested on the big stage yet this year. Neither has Baylor, but Baylor's had big games in the past. I feel like Baylor will pull this one out with a close margin of victory.
Next, South Carolina versus Arkansas. The Boss Hog. What's he say?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Not that I'm promoting it.
Yeah, not about 12 p.m. kickoff, noon kickoff, Saturday at the Razorbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas, 73% chance to win. Line is Arkansas minus 9.5. What you got?
I have the Hogs pulling another win against the Gamecocks. South Carolina did not impress me last week. I mean, Georgia State, I get they play good teams close. I remember they almost beat Auburn last year. Gosh, they should have won that game. But still, I have Arkansas winning this game. I have them covering the spread against the Gamecocks.
You know, I put my bet against Arkansas last week. And I'm still not completely sold on Arkansas, I'll be honest with you. But this week, I got to go with Boss Hog. Boss Hog, I don't know that I'm going to go against you anytime soon. We'll see. I got to look at your schedule, but not this week. Go Boss Hog.
Roll Pig. That's all I'll say.
Roll Pig.
Roll Pig. Next, University of Kentucky, UK, versus the Florida Gators.
Not the United Kingdom.
Not the United Kingdom. Thank goodness. Imagine being British. Kentucky versus Florida. Another night game in the swamp. Crazy that they would schedule that. And even the next game after, week 3, USF. Florida versus USF in the swamp at night. Will I get tired of night games? I don't even know. I don't know. It's kind of like too much of a good thing. I don't know. Maybe. But as of right now, Kentucky's number 20. Florida is unranked. That will change because we just beat Utah. Thank you. 7 p.m. in the swamp. Line is Florida minus 5.5. 54% chance to win for Florida. What you think?
I think Florida wins this game very close. When we did our initial SEC preview rankings, I said that Florida would go 7-5. I think they're more trending towards that 8-4, 9-3 region now, especially after that big win against Utah. I saw what the Swamp did. I've never watched like a Florida game surrounded by Florida fans, but it was great. So the Swamp at night, I think Florida gets it done against the Wildcats.
I think it'll be close.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably field goal win 24-21. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Probably closer. What's the spread? 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a field goal game or so. I'm guessing. If I had to guess.
I mean, hey, Kentucky struggled against Miami, Ohio. They pulled away, but they did not look good the first couple quarters, even the first half. So
they didn't look good, and that's kind of why I have Florida on a miniature upset alert, because Kentucky didn't play well. So you know Stoops is going to be all in their tail this week, just ripping them. And Florida's coming off a huge win with a new coach. But I think Billy Napier will keep them grounded. But still, those players are going to be hearing how great they are, how great they are, how great they are all week. So it's going to be hard to keep that at bay and focus on the task at hand. But I think he'll get it done to win it close.
Rat poison.
that is true. Yeah.
Yummy.
Can't pick against my Florida Gators unless I have to. Unless I really have to. Like Georgia or something.
All right, if the top 20 was on the line and you were tied, and it was Florida versus a team that you knew in your heart was going to crush them, would you still pick Florida?
No, I would not pick Florida. If I knew there was no chance at all that we were going to win,
No loyalty.
then I have to. Well, I gotta win the top 20, man. I'm getting that dollar. No, I think we can win. With the team that we have no excuse not to win. I think we have a lot of potential. Coming off of last week's game, we will have to keep that, ego at bay and under control. But I think Billy Napier can do that. And like you said, with Anthony Richardson, like they're a family now. Like they can actually, hopefully, blend together and win this game. Hopefully, we're not too emotionally drained, though. As I said before, because that was, that was exhausting yesterday. So. All right, Tennessee versus Pitt, 3:30 at Pitt. Tennessee has a 54% chance to win, according to FPI. Favored also by -5.5. So who you guys got?
This is a tight one. I mean, obviously Pitt had that big win against West Virginia. Backyard brawl came back, but I gotta pick the Volunteers. I think Hendon Hooker's gonna have another really solid year. The whole coaching staff has their trust behind Hooker, so I think Tennessee wins. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring considering Tennessee has like no defense.
As of right now, Tennessee has 59 points per game, which is kind of funny to think about because they've only played one game, but still that's kind of funny.
I think Vols are going to win this game. I don't know if they cover the spread, but I think they win.
As much as I want to say Pitt has a chance, I don't think they do. It's going to be an okay game, I think. Pitt handled them last year. I mean, they outscored them. It was at Tennessee.
But Tennessee wasn't as good last year, I don't think.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I was impressed with the way Tennessee handled it. I mean, I know it's Ball State, but I was impressed with the way they took care of their business in the first game, especially defensively.
Definitely.
I mean, Ball State couldn't do anything. Now, there were a bunch of turnovers, so that's credit to Tennessee's defense as well, getting those. But after watching Pitt last week, I just don't think they're the caliber of team that Tennessee will be. I still stand by my statement. I don't think Tennessee's going to be the top in the SEC East or even in the top 2 this year. But I think they'll be a mediocre, in my mind, Pitt ACC team.
Yeah. Last up, we got USC versus Stanford. This is kind of a sleeper. Game. 7:30 on ABC. USC has a 74% chance of winning, according to FPI. USC is favored -11.
Okay.
Who you guys got?
I think USC wins. I was pretty impressed by USC last week. They didn't lose to food, so that's good. They beat the Rice Owls. But I think USC wins this game. I think they probably win by 2 touchdowns, so they cover the spread.
Stanford Stadium only has capacity of 50,000 people.
Really? It's Pac-12 stadium for you.
Yeah, that stadium's going to be rocking. 50,000 strong. USC is going to be a little bit shell-shocked. This isn't the Rice Owls. And I like David Shaw. I think he's a great football coach. I think Stanford's going to, in fact, all of us picked Stanford to be a lot higher than most of the experts projected in the Pac-12. And I just like David Shaw. I think anytime they've had a bad year, he's rebounded. And I think they're a tough football team. I think they're going to hit SC in the mouth, and it's going to be the first true test for Lincoln Riley's squad. And I think it's an upset. I'm going with Stanford.
Really? I like that pick. I'm not going to pick Stanford, but I like the pick. I like the pick. That is pending to change come Saturday in top 20 stuff. But I got USC, what did I say, minus 11? It's going to be closer than that, I think.
Really? I don't say that.
Well, yeah, I guess that might not be true. Because I think it'll probably be either a huge spread or a Stanford upset. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think it's either going to be minus 11 or over, or a Stanford upset. That's my prediction. So I probably got USC for that one. All right, and that is all for week 2 predictions. And we will now have Craig move us on to Tales from the Top 20.
All right, so Tales from the Top 20. This is our first week in Top 20, so we actually did a little bit of a mock trial week 0, but none of those records counted, and we're into the real season now. So it's on, right? So we do have 2 games left as the time of this recording. We still have the LSU Florida State game and the Clemson Georgia Tech game, like was mentioned earlier when we made that pick. So we only have 18 games to record, but current standings as we speak, we have several people at 16-2 currently. That would be Jake, my wife Mary Beth, and Darren Lett, as well as Justin Lett. So those 4, if the season ended today, would be the number 1 spot. Okay, and we don't have a lot of disparity in terms of who picked what in the LSU versus Florida State game or the Clemson Georgia Tech game. The majority, as you can imagine, picked Clemson, so standings won't change too much. There are 3 people that did pick Florida State in that game tonight, so that could change a few things, but it's looking like that first mark is going to be around that 17-3, 18-2 mark, which is a pretty strong start. There haven't been a ton of upsets, big upsets per se. There's been some minor ones here and there. If you look at what people picked, so a lot of people will pick the same teams. Some games are split. So for example, the Florida-Utah game, that was pretty well split. I'd say the majority was Florida, so the majority of people got the win, but it was a closer split than most of our games that we saw. The West Virginia-Pitt game was 93% picks for Pitt. If we go to Penn State, that's looking at 75%, and then we can look at some of the other games here, the bigger games per se. Cincinnati, Arkansas, 75% went with the Razorbacks. There was only one person who picked the Blue Hens. That was Lucy. You're the only one, so congratulations on that, but we're no longer cousins officially. Everybody picked the Michigan Wolverines. We had several people branch out and go with Notre Dame too, so sorry about that, guys, following the Fighting Irish. Everybody was on the Georgia train. And like I said, there were 9 Utah picks and 19 Florida picks. So stop down the Gators. Alabama was 100%.
Roll Tide.
We did have one person pick Miami, Ohio. So not a great look there. And rounding out the last few, currently, like I said, 3 Florida State picks. The rest are LSU, and then 1 Georgia Tech, the rest Clemson. So you can see.
Who picked Georgia's?
I think it was the editor.
Oh.
Insider information.
The editor upset.
It was the editor. I don't know. It could have been. So, but yeah, so a pretty good week. We've got anywhere from 16-2 currently down to all the way at the worst record currently 9-9. So a pretty good split. So some people are jockeying for position to get off to that fast start.
Where am I?
Right now, TJ, you are. And we'll flash a graphic up of the final standings once we get those in the next 2 days. TJ, you're at 13-5 right now. 13-5.
That's not good.
Noah, you're at 15-3.
All right.
And I am at 14-4. I believe,
Yes,
right
at
now,
least I'm
so.
beating you.
Hey, I'm first. I'm first between the three of us currently.
So-
Yes, on the EMF standings, you are number 1 in picks.
I will continue this streak.
And
I'm
before we
sure you
end
won't.
here, I do want to mention there have been some feedback on the power rankings. Okay, we've had some past champions make some comments about, I think it's a little bit biased towards the recent last 10 years. So I do want to acknowledge that there have been other champions besides the last 10 years, and that was not factored in the power rankings. Mainly because I didn't have all the records going back 60 years. Okay, so to make my life a little bit easier, I just went back 10 years. But we have had plenty of people that have won the top 20, and we have a lot of champions in this field. And I think everybody is seeing how competitive this field is. It is the field of champions. Best field in the nation.
I thought you were about to say Field of Dreams.
That's
Field of some people's dreams, but also some people's nightmares.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. All right. Well, this was a great show today. We enjoyed being actually live in person today. Hopefully we'll get to do this again at some point before the season ends and the off season begins. So yeah, thanks for watching and joining us on this episode of E-More Football. And we will see you in the next one.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EatMoreFootball. And then send us any of your questions regarding the show or college football or any sport in general, and we'll answer it in our What's Cooking section at eatmorefb@gmail.com. That's Instagram and Twitter at EatMoreFootball, and then our email is eatmorefb@gmail.com. See you next time.